So if I'm going to compete,
In fact, the Quran says that the month of Ramadan is that in which the Quran was revealed. Stop right there. Now, the Quran didn't make a mistake. But we know that the Quran was not revealed in 1 month. It was revealed over a period of 23 years. So which Quran was revealed in the month of Ramadan? Is there another book that is to come in the month of Ramadan? Or is it that supreme understanding of this book will be given in the month of Ramadan? All the scholars agree that something here needs to be better understood, because the Quran was not revealed in the month of Ramadan. It began in the month of Ramadan. And when that first revelation came to Muhammad, the scholars say it came in the month of December. You hear that? If you can't go the whole 30 days with us, take one. If you get by one, try two. During the daylight hours from sun up, don't put anything in your mouth. No water, no food. If you feel that you're going to be famished, get up before the sun rises. Get up at around 5:30. And if you feel like you need something, make you something then. It's permissible. But if I were you, I would need food then. I would take me a nice herbal tea, water and juice. And when the sun or the day begins to break, stop. When it's dark again, and eat. That discipline all day long. Think about it. People going to the water cooler at work drinking, and you are just not drinking. People eating their lunch and you smell it and want it, you not eat. Even during the daylight hours, a man is not allowed to take pleasure with his wife or vice versa during the daylight hours. If you can resist, your will be stronger. And so now, as we read this Quran, we are enlightened by its beauty, the majesty of these ayats. And you would not know that unless you are reading the Quran as we are instructed to do. If you don't mind, I'd like to say something about Ramadan. This is a very sacred month. Not just a month of fasting, but a month of challenging ourselves in a way that after this month, when we take the Eid prayer and feast of joy, after having struggled to complete our 30 days, it brings us to a new day, a new year of our Islam. And so I want to say to those who tried, we thank Allah for you, and you are the beneficiaries of your striving.
Ramadan Mubarak, everybody. How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? Welcome to your power community. Welcome to your power community. Man, I'm looking at this book this morning, y'all. Ooh, and it's looking slim on that right-hand side, y'all. Oh, we almost there. Ooh, yo, we almost there. Okay, all right. Shout out to everybody who's on Zoom. Shout out to everybody who's on YouTube. Oh, look like we got the Quran today. Ooh, we got our reader today. We on page 869. We are gonna be on page 869. Man, listen. We got a holdback meeting today, y'all. So get ready. I'm letting you guys know ahead of time. We got a holdback meeting. I'm excited. All right, anyways, in the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah. And Muhammad is his messenger. I would like to greet you all with the greeting words of peace. Assalamu alaikum. And assalamu alaikum, for those who don't know, simply means peace be unto you. And wa alaikum salam is them returning those greetings of peace be unto me. Okay, we are on part number 23. So we are on Surah 36 or chapter 36, ayat or verse 22. Okay, part 23. And what reason have I that I should not serve him who created me and to whom you will be brought back? Shall I take besides him gods whose intercession, if the beneficent should desire to afflict me with harm, will avail me not can they deliver me? Then I shall surely be in clear error. Surely I believe in your Lord, so hear me. It was said, enter the garden, he said, with that my people knew how my Lord has forgiven me and made me of the honored ones. And we sent not down upon his people after him any host from heaven, nor do we ever send. It was not but a single cry, and lo, they were still. I'm sorry, give me 1 second. Let me go to this. Bad. Okay, I want to make sure this is on the screen. There we go. Sorry about that. Alas for the servants. Never does a messenger come to them, but they mock him. See they not how many generations we destroyed before them, that they return not to them? And all, surely all, will be brought before us. Section 3, signs of the truth. And a sign to them is the dead earth. We give life to it and bring forth from it grain, so they eat of it. And we make therein gardens of date palms and grapes, and we make springs to flow forth therein, that they may eat of the fruit thereof, and their hands made it not. Would they not then give thanks? Glory be to him who created pairs of all things, and what the earth grows, and of their kind of what they know not. And a sign to them is the night. We draw forth from it the day. Then, lo, they are in darkness. And the sun moves on to its destination. That is the ordinance of mighty, the knower. And the moon we have ordained for its stages till it becomes again as an old dry palm branch. Neither is it for the sun to overtake the moon, nor can the night outstrip the day. And all float on it and orbit. And a sign to them is that we bear their offspring in the Latin ship. And we have created for them the like thereof whereon they ride. And if we please, we may drown them. Then there is no succor from them, nor can they be rescued, but by mercy from us and for enjoyment till a time. And when it is said to them, guard against that which is before you and that which is behind you, that mercy may be shown to you. And there comes to them no message of the messages of their Lord, but they turn away from it. And when it is said to them, spend out of that which Allah has given you, those who disbelieve say to those who believe, shall we feed him, whom if Allah please, he could feed? You are in naught but clear error. And they say, when will this promise come to pass if you are truthful? They await but a single cry, which will overtake them while they contend. So they will not be able to make a bequest, nor will they return to their families. Brother Khalil?
Sir, section 4, reward and punishment. And the trumpet is blown, when lo, from their graves they will hasten on to their Lord. They will say, O woe to us, who has raised us up from our sleeping places, Who has raised us up from our sleeping place? This is what the beneficent promised, and the messengers told the truth. It is but a single cry, when lo, they are all brought before us. So this day no soul is wronged in aught, and you are not rewarded aught but for what you did. Surely the owners of the garden are on that day in a happy occupation. They and their wives are in shades, reclining on raised couches. They have fruits therein, and they have whatever they desire. Peace, a word from a merciful Lord. And withdraw today, O guilty ones. Did I not charge you, O children of Adam, that you serve not the devil? Surely he is your open enemy, and that you serve me, this is the right way. And certainly he led astray numerous people from among you. Could you not then understand? This is the hell which you were promised. Enter it this day, because you disbelieved. That day we shall seal their mouths, and their hands will speak to us, and their feet will bear witness as to what they earned. And if we pleased, we would put out their eyes. Then they would strive to get first to the way, but how should they see? And if we please, we would transform them in their place. Then they would not be able to go on or turn back. Section 5, the resurrection. And whomsoever we cause to live long, we reduce to an object, state in creation. Do they not understand? And we have not taught him poetry, nor is it meet for him. This is not but a reminder in a plain Quran, to warn him who would have life, and that the word may prove true against the disbelievers. See thee not that we have created cattle for them out of what our hands have wrought? So they are their masters. And we have subjected them to them. So them they ride, and some they eat, and therein they have advantages in drinks. Will they not then give thanks? And they take gods besides Allah, and they may be helped. And they take gods besides Allah, that they may be helped. They are not able to help them, and they are hosts brought up before them. So let not their speech grieve thee. Surely we know what they do in secret and what they do openly. Does not man see that we have created him from the small life germ? Then lo, he is an open disputant, and he strikes out a likeness for us, and forgets his own creation. Says he, who will give life to the bones when they are rotten? Say, he will give life to them who brought them into existence at first, and he is the knower of all creation, who produced fire for you out of the green tree, so that with it you kindle. Is not he who created the heavens and the earth able to create the like of them? Yea, and he is the creator of all, the knower. His command, when he intends anything, is only to say to it, be, and it is. So glory be to him, in whose hand is the kingdom of all things, and to him you will be returned.
Man, I have lost the page. Chapter 37.
877.
877.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right.
You're welcome.
All right. Section 1. Up next, we have Sister Fatima.
Surah 37. Al Safat, those ranging in ranks. Section 1, unity will prevail. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. By those ranging in ranks, and those who restrain holding in restraint, and those who recite the reminder, Surely your God is one, the Lord of the heavens and the earth, and what is between them, and the Lord of the eastern lands. Surely we have Surely we have adorned the lower heaven with an adornment, the stars. And there is a safeguard against every rebellious devil. They cannot listen to the exalted assembly, and they are reproached from every side, driven off, and for them is a perpetual chastisement. Except him who snatches away but once, then there follows him a brightly shining flame. So ask them whether they are stronger in creation or those others whom we have created. Surely we created them of firm clay. Nay, thou wonderest while they mock. And when they are reminded, they mind not. And when they see a sign, they seek to scoff and say, this is nothing but clear enchantment. When we are dead and have become dust and bones, shall we then be raised? Or our fathers of yore say, yea, and you will be humiliated. So it will be but one cry, when lo, they will see. And they will say, oh, woe to us. This is the day of requital. This is the day of judgment, which you call a lie. Section 2, the judgment. Gather together those who did wrong and their associates and what they worshiped, besides Allah. Then lead them to the way to hell and stop them, for they shall be questioned. What is the matter with you that you help not one another? Nay, on that day they will be submissive, and some of them will turn to others, mutually questioning, saying, surely you used to come to us from the right side. They will say, nay, you yourselves were not believers, and we had no authority over you, but you were an inordinate people. So the word of our Lord has proved true against us. We shall surely taste, we led you astray, for ourselves were erring. So that day they will be sharers in the chastisement. Thus do we deal with the guilty. They indeed were arrogant when it was said to them, there is no God but Allah, and said, shall we give up our gods for a mad poet? Nay, he has brought the truth and verifies the messengers. Surely you will taste the painful chastisement, and you are required not but for what you did, save the servants of Allah, the purified ones. For them is a known sustenance, fruits, and they are honored in gardens of delight, on thrones facing each other. A bowl of running water will be made to go round them, while delicious to those who drink. It deprives not of reason, nor are they exhausted therewith. And with them are those modest in gaze, having beautiful eyes. And if they were eggs, as if they were eggs, carefully protected, then some of them will turn to others, questioning mutually. A speaker of them will say, surely I had a
Comrade.
comrade who said, art thou indeed of those who accept? When we are dead and have become dust and bones, shall we then be requited? He will say, will you look? Then he looked down and saw him in the midst of hell. He will say, by Allah, thou hast almost caused me to perish. And had it not been for favor of my Lord, I should have been among those brought up. Are we not to die except our previous death? And are we not to be chastised? Surely this is the mighty achievement. For the like of this, then let the workers work. Is this the is this the better entertainment of the tree of Zakam? Surely we have made a trial for the wrongdoers. It is a tree that grows in the bottom of hell. Its produce is as it were the heads of serpents. Then truly they will eat of it and fill their bellies with it. Then surely they shall have after it a drink of boiling water. Then their return is surely to the flaming fire. They indeed found their fathers astray. So in their footsteps they are hastening on. And the most of the ancients surely went astray before them. And indeed, we sent among them warners. Then see what was the end of those warned, except the servants of Allah, the purified ones. Allahu Akbar.
Praise be to Allah. Section 3, Sister Diabra.
Excuse me, section 3, Noah and Abraham. And Noah, excuse me, I'm sorry. And Noah certainly called upon us. An excellent answerer of prayers are we. And we delivered him and his people from the great distress and made his offspring the survivors and left for him praise among the later generations. Peace be to Noah among the nations. Thus indeed do we reward the doers of good. Surely he was of our believing servants. Then we drowned the others. And surely of his party was Abraham, when he came to his Lord with a secure heart, when he said to his sire and his people, what is it that you worship? Allah? Gods besides Allah do you desire? What is then your idea about the Lord of the worlds? Then he glanced a glance at the stars and said, surely I am sick of your deities. So they turned their backs on him, going away. Then he turned to their gods and said, do you not eat? What is the matter with you that you speak not? So he turned upon them, smiting with the right hand. Then they came to him hastening. He said, do you worship that which you hew out? And Allah has created you and what you make? They said, build for him a building, then cast him into the flaming fire. And they designed a plan against him, but we brought them low. And he said, surely I flee to my Lord, he will guide me. My Lord, grant me a doer of the good deeds. So we gave him the good news of a forbearing son. But when he became of age, too, but when he became of age to work with him, he said, oh, my son, I have seen in a dream that I should sacrifice thee. So consider what thou seest. He said, oh, my father, do as thou art commanded. If Allah please, thou wilt find me patient. So when they both submitted and he had thrown him down upon his forehead, and we called out to him, saying, O Abraham, thou hast indeed fulfilled the vision. Thus do we reward the doers of good. Surely this is a manifest trial. And we ransomed him with a great sacrifice. And we granted him among the later generations the salutation. Peace be to Abraham. Thus do we reward the doers of good. Surely he was one of our believing servants, and we gave him the good news of Isaac, a prophet, a righteous one. And we blessed him and Isaac, and of their offspring, some are doers of good, but some are clearly unjust to themselves. Section 4, Moses, Aaron, Elias, and Lot. And certainly we conferred a favor on Moses and Aaron, and we delivered them and their people from the mighty distress. And we helped them so they were the vanquisher. And we gave them both the clear book. And we guided them on the right way. And we granted them among the later generations the salutation. Peace be to Moses and Aaron. Thus do we reward the doers of good. Surely they were both of our believing servants. And Elias was surely of those sent. When he said to his people, will you not guard against evil? Do you call upon Baal and forsake the best of the creators? Allah, your Lord, and the Lord of your fathers of yore? But they rejected him, so they shall be brought up, but not the servants of Allah, the purified ones. And we granted him among the later generations the salutation. Peace be to Elias. Even thus we reward the doers of good. Surely he is one of our believing servants. And Lot was surely of those sent when he delivered him and his people, all except an old woman among those who remained behind. Then we destroyed the others. And surely you pass by them in the morning and at night. Do you not then understand?
Sister Nakisha.
Section 5, Jonah and the prophet's triumph. And Jonah was surely of those sent when he fled to the laden ship. So he shared with others, but was of those cast away. So the fish took him into its mouth while he was blamable. But had he not been of those who glorify us, he would have tarried in its belly till the day when they are raised. Then we cast him on the naked shore while he was sick, and we caused a gourd to grow up from him, and we sent him to 100,000 or more. And they believed, so we gave them provision till a time. Now ask them whether they Now ask them whether thy Lord has daughters and they have sons. Or did we create the angels females while they witnessed? Now surely it is of their own lie that they say, Allah has begotten, and truly they are liars. He has preferred daughters to sons. What is the matter with you? How you judge? Will you not then mind, or have you a clear authority? Then bring your book if you are truthful. And they assert a relationship between him and the jinn. And certainly the jinn know that they will be brought up for judgment. Glory be to Allah from what they describe, but not so the servants of Allah, the purified ones. So surely you and that which you serve, not against him can you cause any to fall into trial. Save him who will burn in the flaming fire, and there is none of us but has, and there is none of us but has an assigned place. And verily we are ranged in ranks, and we truly glorify him. And surely they used to say, had we a reminder for those of yore, we would have been sincere servants of Allah. But now they disbelieve in it, so they will come to know. And certainly our word has already gone forth to our servants, to those sent, that they will be helped, and our hosts surely they will be triumphant. So turn away from them till a time, and watch them, they too will see. Would they hasten on our chastisement? So when it so when it descends in their court, evil will be the mourning of the warned ones. And turn away from them till a time, and watch, for they too will see. Glory be to thy Lord, the Lord of might, above what they describe. And peace be to those sent. And praise be to Allah, the Lord of the worlds. Chapter 38, Sod. The Section 1, the enemy's discomfiture. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, truthful God, by the Quran, possessing eminence. Nay, those who disbelieve are in self exaltation and opposition. How many a generation we destroyed before them, then they cried when there was no longer time for escape. And they wonder that a warner from among themselves has come to them, and the disbelievers say, this is an enchanter, a liar. Makes he the gods a single God? Surely this is a strange thing. And the chiefs among them say, go and steadily adhere to your gods. Surely this is a thing intended. We never heard of this in the former faith. This is nothing but a forgery. Has the reminder been revealed to him from among us? Nay, they are in doubt as to my reminder. Nay, they have not yet tasted my chastisement. Or have they the treasures of the mercy of thy Lord, the mighty, the great giver? Or is the kingdom of the heavens and the earth and what is between them theirs? Then let them rise higher in means. What an army of the allies is here put to flight. The people of Noah and Ad and Pharaoh, the Lord of hosts, rejected prophets before them. And Thamud and the people of Lot and the dwellers of the thicket, these were the parties opposing truth. Not one of them but rejected the messengers. So just was my retribution.
Brother Remus.
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum. Ramadan Mubarak. Section 2, David's enemies. And these wait but for one cry, wherein there is no delay. And they say, Our Lord, hasten on for us our portion before the day of reckoning. Bear patiently what they say, and remember our servant David, the possessor of power. He ever turned to Allah. Truly, we made the mountains subject to him, glorifying Allah at nightfall and sunrise. And the birds gathered together, all were obedient to him. And we strengthened his kingdom, and we gave gave him wisdom and a clear judgment. And has the story of the adversaries come to thee, when they made an entry into the private chamber by climbing the wall? When they came upon David, so he was afraid of them, they said, Fear not, two litigants, of whom one has wronged the other. So decide between us with justice, and act not unjustly, and guide us to the right way. This is my brother. He was 99 ewes. He has 99 ewes, and I have a single ewe. Then he said, Make it over to me, and he has prevailed against me in dispute. He said, Surely he has wronged thee in demanding thy ewe to add to his own ewes. And surely many partners wronged one another, save those who believe and do good. And very few are they. And David knew that we had tried him, so he asked his Lord for protection. And he fell down, bowing, and turned to God. Prostration. So we gave him this protection, and surely he had a nearness to us and an excellent resort. O David, surely we have made thee a ruler in the land. So judge between men justly, and follow not desire, lest it lead thee astray from the path of Allah. Those who go astray from the path of Allah, for them is surely a severe chastisement, because they forgot the day of reckoning. Section 3, Solomon and his enemies. And we created not the heaven and the earth and what is between them in vain. That is the opinion of those who disbelieve. So woe to those who disbelieve on account of the fire. Shall we treat those who believe and do good like the mischief makers in the earth? Or shall we make the dutiful like the wicked? This is a book that we have revealed to thee, abounding in good, that they may ponder over its verses, and that the men of understanding may mind. And we gave to David Solomon, most excellent the servant. Surely he ever turned to Allah. When well-bred, swift horses were brought to him at evening, so he said, I love the good things on account of the remembrance of my Lord, until they were hidden behind the veil. He said, Bring them back to me. So he began to stroke their legs and necks. And certainly we tried Solomon, and we put on his throne a mere body. So he turned to Allah. He said, My Lord, forgive me and grant me a kingdom which is not fit for anyone after me. Surely thou art the great giver. So we made the wind subservient to him, running gently by his command wherever he desired. And the devils, every builder and diver, and others fettered in chains, This is our free gift. So give freely or withhold without reckoning. And surely he had a nearness to us and an excellent resort.
Brother Demi.
Assalamu alaikum. Section 4, chapter 38, triumph of the righteous. And remember our servant Job when he cried to his Lord, the devil has afflicted me with toil and torment. Urge with thy foot. Here is a cool washing place and a drink. And we gave him his people and the like of them with them, a mercy from us, a reminder for men of understanding. And take in thy hand few worldly goods, and earn goodness therewith, and incline not to falsehood. Surely we found him patient, most excellent the servant. Surely he ever turned to us. And remember our servants, Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, men of power and insight. We indeed purified them by a pure quality, the keeping in mind of the final abide. And surely they were with us of the elect, the best. And remember Ishmael and Elisha and Dur el Khalif, and they were all of the best. This is a reminder, and surely there is an excellent resort for the dutiful. Gardens of preparity. The doors are open for them, reclining therein, calling therein for many fruits and drink. And with them are those modest and gaze, equals in age. This is what you are promised for the day of reckoning. Surely this is our substance. It will never come to an end. This is for the
Assalamu alaikum,
good.
brother Demi. Excuse me, that was Elisha.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
And where was that at? I didn't see
Sister
that.
Alethea, can you go back one page, please? It was right there. Remember Ishmael and Elisha, and they were all of the best. And dual.
Elisha.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Elijah. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. This is what you are promised for the day of reckoning. Surely this is our sustenance. It will never come to an end. This is for the good, and surely there is an evil resort for the inordinate. Hell, they will enter it. So evil is the resting place. So let them taste it, boiling and intensely cold drink, and other similar punishment of various sorts. This is an army rushing headlong with you. No welcome for them. Surely they will burn in fire. They say, nay, no welcome to you. You prepared it for us. So evil is the resting place. They say, our Lord, whoever prepared it for us, give him more, a double punishment in fire. And they say, what is the matter with us? We see not men whom we used to count among the vicious. Did we only take them in scorn, or do our eyes miss them? That surely is the truth, the contending one with another of the inmates of the fire. Section 5, opposition to prophets. Say, I am only a warner, and there is no God but Allah, the one, the subduer of all, the Lord of the heavens and the earth, what is between them, the mighty, the forgiving. Say, it is a message of importance from which you turn away. I have no knowledge of the exalted chiefs when they contend. Only this is revealed to me that I am a plain warner. When thy Lord said to the angels, surely I'm going to create a mortal from dust. So when I have made him complete and breathe into him of my spirit, fall down submitting to him. The angels submitted, all of them, but not Iblis. He was proud, and he was one of the disbelievers. He said, O Iblis, what prevented thee from submitting to him whom I created with both my hands? Art thou proud, or art thou of the exalted ones? He said, I am better than he. Thou hast created me of fire, and him thou didst create of dust. He said, Go forth from hence. Surely thou art driven away, and surely my curse is on thee to the day of judgment. He said, My Lord, respite me to the day that they are raised. He said, Surely thou art of the respited ones. To the day of the time made known, he said, Then by thy might I will surely lead them astray, except thy servants from among them, the purified ones. He said, The truth is, and the truth I speak, that I shall fill hell with thee and with all those among them who follow thee. Say, I ask you no reward for it, nor am I of the impostors. It is not but a reminder to the nations, and certainly you will come to know about it after a time.
Sister Fran.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam.
Chapter 39, the companies. Section 1, obedience to Allah. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. The revelation of the book is from Allah, the Mighty, the Wise. Surely we have revealed to thee the book with truth, so serve Allah, being sincere to Him in obedience. Now surely sincere obedience is due to Allah alone, and those who choose protectors besides Him say, We serve them only that they may bring us nearer to Allah. Surely Allah will judge between them in that in which they differ. Surely Allah guides not him who is a liar, ungrateful. If Allah desired to take a son to himself, he could have chosen those he pleased out of those whom he was created. Glory be to him. He is Allah, the one, the subduer of all. He has created the heavens and the earth with truth. He makes the night cover the day and makes the day overtake the night. And he has made the sun and moon subservient. Each one moves on to an assigned term. Now surely he is the mighty, the forgiver. He created you from a single being that made its mate of the same kind. And he sent down for you 8 of the cattle in pairs. He creates you in the wombs of your mothers, in the wombs of your mothers, creation after creation, in triple darkness. That is Allah, your Lord. His is the kingdom. There's no God but He. How are you then turned away? If you are ungrateful, then surely Allah is above need of you, and He likes not ungratefulness in His servants. And if you are grateful, He likes it for you. And no bearer of a burden will bear another's burden. Then to your Lord is your return. Then will He inform you of what you did. Surely He is knower of what is in the breast. And when distress afflicts a man, he calls upon his Lord, turning to Him. Then when He grants him a favor from Him, he forgets that for which he called upon Him before, and sets up rivals to Allah, that He may cause men to stray from His path. Say, enjoy thine ungratefulness for a little. Surely thou art of the companions of the fire. Is he who is obedient during hours of the night, prostrating himself and standing, taking care of the hereafter and hoping for the mercy of his Lord? Say, are those who know and those who know not alike? Only men of understanding mind. Section 2, believers and disbelievers. Say, O my servants who believe, keep your duty to your Lord. For those who do good in this world is good, and Allah's earth is spacious. Truly, the steadfast will be paid their reward without measure. Say, I am commanded to serve Allah, being sincere to Him in obedience. And I am commanded to be the first of those who submit. Say, I fear if I disobey my Lord, the chastisement of a grievous day. Say, Allah serve being sincere to Him in my obedience. Serve then what you will besides him. Say, the losers surely are those who lose themselves and their people on the day of resurrection. Now surely that is the manifest loss. They shall have coverings of fire above them and coverings beneath them. With that, Allah makes his servants to fear. So keep your duty to me, O my servants. And those who eschew the worship of the idols and turn to Allah, for them is good news. So give good news to my servants, my who listen to the word, then follow the best of it. Such are they whom Allah has guided, and such are the men of understanding. He against whom the sentence of chastisement is due. Canst thou save him who is in the fire? What but those who keep their duty to their Lord, for them are high places above them, higher places built for them, wherein rivers flow. It is the promise of Allah. Allah fails not in his promise. Seest thou not that Allah sends down water from the clouds, then makes it go down into the earth in springs, then brings forth therewith herbage of various hues, then it withers, so that thou seest it turn yellow, then he makes it chaff? Surely there is a reminder in this for men of understanding.
Sister Cliche.
Assalamu alaikum. Section 3, a perfect guidance. Is he whose breast Allah has opened to Islam so that he follows a light from his Lord? So woe to those whose hearts are hardened against the remembrance of Allah. Such are in clear error. Allah has revealed the best announcement, a book consistent, repeating its injunctions, whereat do shudder the skins of those who fear their Lord, and their skins and their hearts soften to Allah's remembrance. This is Allah's guidance. He guides with it whom he pleases, and whom Allah leaves in error, there is no guide for him. Is then he who has to guard himself with his own person against the evil chastisement of the resurrection day? And it will be said to the iniquitous, taste what you earn. Those before them denied, so the chastisement came to them from whence they perceived not. So Allah made them taste disgrace in this world's life, and certainly the chastisement of the hereafter is greater, did they but know. And certainly we have set forth for men in this Quran similitudes of every sort that they may mind. An Arabic Quran without any crookedness, that they may guard against evil. Allah sets forth a parable. A man belonging to partners differing with one another, and a man devoted wholly to one man. Are the two alike in condition? Praise be to Allah. Nay, most of them know not. Surely thou wilt die, and they too will die. Then surely on the day of resurrection you will contend one with another before your Lord. And that's the
Praise be
end.
to Allah.
Praise be to Allah.
Part 23. Complete, family. Man, I mean, this thing, sometimes it just creep up on you. It just creep up on you. You don't even realize. Oh, that's it. All right. Let's go ahead and press the number 3 if you have anything that stands out to you that you would like to share. For those of you all who are tuned in on YouTube, I am going to send you the Zoom link just in case you want to come over and share something that stands out to you. I didn't even know Brother West was on. Brother Marcus.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
How you doing? All praise is due to Allah. So today I've been here every day, day 23. Last year I did Ramadan and I was here for like 2 weeks. Wasn't here with you, but I did it myself for 2 weeks and then I kind of like fell off of it. But I can say with the grace of God this year I've done every day.
Come on.
I'm in LA too, so I wake up every day at 3 o'clock to hear and to be a part of the reading. And today was my third day. I went to the LA mosque, and joined our study group today, and I did do it for the first time today too, and it was just a great experience. And I just want to thank you, brother Ben, for being here throughout the whole thing for us and for myself, and being a righteous leader and showing us the way. All praise is due to Allah.
Wow. Praise be to Allah. Look at that, man. That's the power. That's the power of community right there, y'all. See, when we doing stuff on our own, it's easy to give up. Ah, man, I'm out. But when you got a community with you, inspiring you, motivating you, oh, man, we can do big things together. Woo! That's one of the things I want to talk about in the whole back meeting, by the way. But praise be to Allah, man. Thank you and congratulations to you, and may Allah bless you on your journey. Let's go to Brother Wesley.
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Praise be to Allah. I'm in transit, so I don't have the Quran in front of me, but I believe, two things that stood out to me, and also shout out to the brother joining, coming in. Praise be to Allah. Ayat, I believe it's Surah 38, Ayat 71 through the end of Surah 38 in reference to the account of Iblis. Anytime that I read about the account of Iblis, it always, stands out to me that Allah gave him the opportunity to right his wrong or to ask a question, but because of his arrogance and being proud, he stood on what he felt, which was, I'm better than this, than your creation. I'm better than man. And that to me always stands out because I connected with Cain and Abel. Cain was also presented with a question by Allah as to why is your heart being hardened? But yet, instead of asking a question and trying to find out why his particular offering was not accepted or not respected, he just stood on the arrogance. He stood on his pride. He stood on erring. You know what I'm saying? So that to me just always stands out, that we're always presented whenever we face with a trial or some type of opposition, we're faced with an opportunity to seek refuge in Allah and look for the lesson. And as the Quran continuously reminds us that we have signs in everything that's going on for those who understand, those who believe, those who are knowing, those who basically are paying attention to what's going on and not leaning on our own understanding or our emotions, which is why it's so important to rise above emotions to the thinking of God, so that we can really find a lesson in it, so that we can improve ourselves and find out what it is being taught to us and shown to us. So that always stands out whenever I read that particular account. And then lastly, I land on this. I believe it's in Surah 39 towards the end, where Allah reminds us about ingratitude and how he's not pleased with ingratitude. Earlier in the Quran is where it says that he hates ingratitude. Here it says he doesn't like ingratitude. So we're constantly reminded why having gratitude is so important. And it brings out how Allah is above need of us being ungrateful. So even without the Quran as well, it says that whenever we do something good, we do it for our own goods. We're rewarded for our deeds of good. But when we do something wrong, we only wrong ourselves. We're not harming Allah when we do something wrong. We're only harming ourselves. So being grateful, even not just being grateful for the good things, but being grateful for the trials, being grateful for the opposition, to understand that there's a lesson in it. There's a lesson in the struggle. All of these things we should be grateful for, because we have an opportunity for our eyes to be open in the morning. There's something that we're being worked on. Allah is working on us and bringing us through it to get us to that eventual perfection that he's bringing us through or evolving us through as well. So just understanding that lesson of gratitude that is always reminded to us, and it really just shows how Allah is so merciful and continuously reminding us throughout the Quran of there's lessons in everything that we go through, whether we may appear to be bad is really good, but then also understanding that we always need to rely on Allah and not lean on our own understanding or lean on the opinions of the world or the opinions of other people on how they may perceive things. We should always look for Allah's perspective and look for his coloring on things, so that we can be able to really see the blessings and receive the rewards that come with that. Assalamu alaikum and Ramadan Mubarak to the family.
Wa alaikum salam. Yes, sir. Brother Daniel 6X.
Yes, sir. How's my signal, dear brother?
Pretty good.
Wonderful. I appreciate coming behind Brother Wesley. He raised some very wonderful points and principles that I also too was looking at in this particular reading of part 23. I was looking at the continuous repetition of the purified ones and how those purified ones belong to Allah. Purification is very important, and it brought to mind some words from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan for me. He said that you can never, he said the actions of people, changing the actions of people would never really change people. And I'm paraphrasing. He said you have to get into the thinking of people and change their thinking. And I thought about that. And it made me think about the very first question that opened this section. I don't have it in front of me, but it was a question about how could you deny Allah or something related to not relying on the God. And there were several questions in this part that the believer was asked. It made me really think about what the minister said about changing our thinking, and it made me reflect on why my actions are not consistent. It's because my thinking is not consistent. Until I really get into the thinking of myself, the core of my being, my heart, then I can never be purified. And then I realized that the only way I really can change my thinking is to be engaged in a mental activity, such as prayer, such as being on this call, such as reading the Holy Quran and doing those things that affect thinking. Until I get into that aspect where I'm really affecting my thinking for the long haul, then my actions will continuously rise and fall because I haven't affected the way that I perceive things. I also too was thinking about gratitude and how that principle was mentioned so many times in this section. And I realized that gratitude is a very important part of changing my thinking because I was wondering what role does ingratitude play in rebellion? I'm talking about known rebellion. I'm talking about when I know that I shouldn't do something. Does my attitude of ingratitude cause me to fall victim to transgressing the law or sin because I'm ungrateful for the wonderful things that Allah has done for me? So I realize that that's a mindset that I have to put in check, and I have to learn to be grateful for the revelation, grateful for the things that Allah has blessed me with. So when I'm challenged from that bliss mindset within, I can reflect on, no, Allah just blessed me. Allah just gave me this. Allah just gave me that. I have access to the teachings. I have access to believers who are sharing wisdom from the God. And then maybe that'll help me put my reprobate mind in check and not be so susceptible to insinuation or evil suggestion from devil or iblis. So those are some of the things that stood out to me this morning, family. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Sister Farrell.
Assalamu alaikum, family. I'm striving to come on here more. It's been a challenge. But so what stood out to me is something a good point Brother Wesley brought up. He said that there's a lesson within everything that we go through. And it made me think of something that was said in a previous power call. A sister said, I don't remember who it was, that sometimes Allah answers your prayers with a trial. He might not give you the answer right away, and you might be like, why isn't Allah answering my prayer? Well, sometimes it comes in the form of a trial to prepare you, maybe prepare you for whatever it was that you prayed for, prepare you to receive it. And yeah, you might not be able to receive it at that moment, with your current mindset, wherever you are in your journey, you might not be able to receive it yet. But yeah, sometimes we go through trials in life, and at that moment, we might not realize the lesson or the blessing that Allah is giving us until way later down the line, after you've overcome it, and with patience, prayer, and studying, and doing the work, Allah eventually grants you understanding of what it was or why it was He put the trial your way. Yeah, that's why we're taught submit first, obedience first, and before belief, before faith. I forgot the exact quote. I apologize, but it's like we're supposed to submit first, and eventually Allah grants understanding. We might not understand the prayers at first while we're making those prayers. We might not understand every word. We might not understand exactly what we're saying at the moment, but as we're praying, you'll notice that you start to gain a little more understanding of the prayer and what it is that you're saying as you're saying it. Allah reveals it to you as you're praying. And it's a beautiful and amazing thing, how the more you understand it, the more it changes your perception of the prayer, and the way you perceive the prayer. Then when you go and read that Quran, it just further answers whatever it is you might be praying about. All right, assalamu alaikum, family.
Alaikum salam. Sister Shireen?
Assalamu alaikum and Ramadan Mubarak. For some reason, I thought there was like way more people ahead of me, so I wasn't ready. But what came to my mind was that a lot of mention of idolatry with regards to Abraham. And I was thinking, like, why do we why do we ask for blessings of Abraham like now to this day? You know what I mean? Because that was something that happened thousands of years ago with him overcoming the people in his community that believed in the different idols and stuff. And I was like, are we that idolatrous? And then it occurred to me, yeah, we are. When we say things like, oh, I can't start the day without my Starbucks, or I can't do this without that, or I can't live without this person, or I die if so and so didn't do whatever. I don't know. But to the extent that we make our existence contingent upon something else other than Allah, we are idolaters. So we don't have little figurines and things like that in our house, but maybe we have we only wear certain brands, because that brand validates us, and another brand that may do the same thing, or that, I don't know, but that's what came to my mind. And then when yesterday the sister reminded us of what our national captain said about being at peace with Allah's will, that really hit me yesterday, because I was thinking about my father when he passed a couple of years ago, and he was sick, and he didn't tell me he was sick. And I didn't find out he was sick and dying. I didn't find out he was dying until like a month before he actually, transitioned. And at the time that he was dying, I was dying literally, like in the hospital. I was real sick with COVID. And so it was nothing I could do. But I remember praying, Allah, if, I was like, heal him, heal him, heal him. But then it just came over me, be at peace with what Allah is about to do. And I said, Allah, whatever you will, just help me be okay with it. And yesterday I found myself missing him because I heard a song and I moved the way he would have moved, and I said something that he would have said, and I was overcome with grief. But then I thought about their sister saying be okay with it, and I realized I was still mad because he didn't even tell me he was dying, but he told one of my other siblings. But I can't make even the way he died an idol. I can't hold on to that. Why he do that? Why he ain't do that? Because that will be a roadblock for me. And that will be an obstacle for me to draw nearer to Allah to get the understanding. Because obviously it was his will, because it happened. He didn't make it happen, but he allowed it to happen. And then I got to know the difference between when Allah makes something happen and when he allows something to happen. Like what's happening over in the Middle East. He's allowing it to happen. He's not making it happen, but it's a purpose for it. And once we get past the why, maybe we can see the bigger picture, other than why is this happening to me? It's not about me. It's a bigger universal picture that me and my little eyeballs just can't see. So that was it. I surely didn't mean to go there. So I apologize for the emotional release. But thank you for being present with me in this experience. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. I don't know if y'all recall, but I dealt with a similar issue on my video about my mom in the documentary. A lot of the footage that was filmed, I wasn't there. The videographer was there, and so he asked. This is around the time when they was filming in the house, and my mom was dealing with cancer, and she said that my dad had left one day and she was looking for the gun, and that she was going to shoot herself because of the pain of what she was dealing with. And then then the videographer said, how did Ben deal with that? He said, and she said, I didn't tell him. So a lot of stuff that my mom went through, I didn't even know that she was going through. And a perspective is that she just wanted to protect me, protect my mind and my stress levels, and not have me to worry. So it was more so out of love, possibly. Not that she don't love the sibling that was told, but it could be out of love and protection that, they don't want us to grieve or, think too much of it and, start to cause us to stress out. So I definitely know what that feels like. And so, as the sister said, a Muslim is one who submits their will to do the will of God. So, I think the minister recently said this somewhere too. It's popping up in my head. I can't find exactly where, but maybe somebody said it. But that's what brings about true peace, when we can say, I submit my will, because then whatever happens, we find a way to submit what we want to happen. We find a way to submit, the way we would want it done, and say, you know what? You have an active and a permissive will. Now, I don't know which one is active and I don't know which one is permissive, but if I know that nothing happens besides with the permission of Allah, okay. it is what it is. And so that keeps us at peace and that keeps us going. So praise be to Allah. I'm pretty sure many others have dealt with similar situations. And the minister said, if you didn't, what did he say? If you didn't want to leave here, you should not have been born. He said, all of us are going to go through that. He said he calls it the evil accident of time. But you know, that should remind us of what are we doing with God's time? Wow, think about that. What are we doing with God's time? How many other people are experiencing this? Millions of people all over the world that are losing people, and not just losing people, but losing themselves. With the evil accident of time. So what are we doing with God's time when we're able to walk and we're able to talk and we're able to see and read and think critically? What are we doing to maximize the time, the little time that we have here on earth? So really there are signs. And then remember, you know, they say energy is not created nor destroyed. So these people that we love can live on through us. And I know we want to interact with the physical and we want to hug the physical and we want to talk to them and all that type of stuff. But man, they sure would be proud if we live our life the way we're supposed to live it. They sure, I'm sure, would be proud if we end up living and reach our full potential of life and become all that we can be and all that we should be, and we accept our own and be ourselves and leave a legacy. I'm pretty sure all they would be smiling if they could see it. So let's use that energy and take that energy from the pain that we have, and let's turn that into creative energy and do something that and build something that they will be proud of, and show the world the example and what they have done for us in raising us and giving us life and providing certain things for us. Because that's what I thought about, you know, with my mom. You know, hey man, I'm gonna show the world how she's inspired me, so that her works and her sacrifice and the time that she made is not in vain, is not wasted. So I say, yes, sir. Let's get up every morning and let's make a difference in the world so that the world can be affected by her work, because I'm a part of that work. Yeah. And that's inspiring right there, boy. That'll cheer you up and make you go say, I'm finna go change the world. Yeah, buddy. All right, let's go to Sister Bridget, all the way from Jamaica.
Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah. Assalamu alaikum and Ramadan Mubarak, Power Call family. So what stood out to me was chapter 39, section 3, a perfect guidance. That's the headline for section 3. And ayat 22, I'll read. Is he whose breast Allah has opened to Islam so that he follows a light from his Lord? So woe to those whose hearts are hardened against the remembrance of Allah. Such are in clear error. No. Why Allah gives light to some of us? In my understanding, my own humble understanding is that Allah follows the heart. He works with our heart. And if we fail after he has chosen us, if we fail big time in our duty, then we become an example to the believers and the unbelievers, because he makes no mistake, right? He makes no mistake. In our history, Malcolm X was the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's example. And at one point, he wished that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan would be in his shoes, and he was in Minister Farrakhan's shoes, because of how far down he had fallen. and he know that there's no coming back. And it is also an example to us. This is our history. This is in our time. We must be submissive to perfect guidance. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is the perfect guidance manifested in flesh right now. So if you don't know, go and study this man, this divine man that Allah has given the title, the Messiah. Power Call family, we have the Jesus in our midst that we've been reading about and still reading about. And I've watched a lot of Jesus movies time and time again throughout my earlier years. And I felt inspired. And I always wanted to be there. And Allah has blessed me now to be in the midst of the real Jesus, the true Jesus. Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar. Sister said, where can you find a documentary? I don't have it anywhere. Some people have, and you know what? Some people have it because they bought my book and it came with a wristband. I don't even have a wristband myself. I need that documentary. So if anybody got that, if y'all got that from me a couple years ago, if y'all can upload that and send it to me, that'll be great. But that was a version. But to be honest, man, I never put it out the way I wanted to put it out. Something always told me it ain't ready yet, you know? And after some things happened, it clicked why I just it wouldn't let me put it out. So yeah, I'm glad I didn't at this point because there's some other parts to the story. So I'm still working on it. There's parts that are complete, but yeah, still in the process of doing that. And inshallah, y'all will be a part of the documentary. Yeah, it was a wristband. So when they bought the book, it came with a wristband, and the wristband had videos and the documentary actually on it. But yeah, that was a couple years ago. Sister Samantha.
Yes. Assalamu alaikum and Ramadan Mubarak, family. Just want to say thank you again, Brother Ben. It is not easy. Your labor, what a beautiful labor of love that you are exemplifying, starting this platform. But what I wanted to share with the group is section 5, verse 152, section 1, verse 4, and section 1 again, verse 3. How the word, I noticed that the word liar was mentioned in those ayats. So I just wanted to just say to the group that sometimes we're not mindful, not to sound pessimistic, but sometimes we're not mindful when we sometimes lie. Like we're not mindful of it. We just think, oh, I'm just going to tell the person this, that, and the other. And we don't really mean what we're saying. But Allah takes that very seriously because in the book of Revelation, it speaks on how in the new world, there will be no liars in the new heaven and the new earth. So I just wanted to share that with the group. Sometimes when you're not able to do something, that's different. But when you just keep outright lying, that's not good. Allah takes that very seriously. So I just wanted to share that with the group. And thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. One of the sisters said, I have it, but I don't know how to upload it. So it's a USB. So if you have a USB computer, basically, I say USB computer, I'm sorry, a computer with a USB port, you plug it in and then you will see the file on that USB, and then you can like upload it to YouTube unlisted though. Upload it to YouTube unlisted, and you can YouTube how to do that. Upload to YouTube unlisted, and then just send me the link, and then I can download it. Cause yeah, I don't even. I might have a copy on my other computer, but that's my old PC. Up next we got Brother Antone.
Assalamu
Walaikum salam.
Nah, throughout our whole reading, that aspect of those that Satan will not be able to get to follow him and do his bidding. Those who will not be able to be swayed by Satan. That just keeps standing out. The purified ones. And I had mentioned it before that the word purified is tied to two different words, but one that really give you a good meaning of those who are purified is zakah, the word zakah. And we know that zakah means charity. So it make me think about the minister and how if your purification and your protection against being led, controlled in any way by Satan is tied into zakah, and that's charity, then we know that the example of our minister is that he have exhausted his life. He have exhausted his whole life since the day he came in the ranks and was asked the first question as a FOI in class. And he said that I will take this word to every part of this country. And he have went beyond this country and took it around the world. And that's one of the aspects that have qualified him to carry that hat, to wear that hat Messiah. Because the word Masi in Arabic mean one who travels. And the minister have traveled to and fro, back and forth. He have traveled all over, spreading the words and truth of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He have did that. So with him as our example, then we have to make sure we exhaust ourselves in whatever way we can in trying to give truth and charity. Because we got to remember that purification is tied into zakah, charity. So we have to really be willing to give of ourselves. Give of ourselves, whether we have a skill that help people, or are we able to speak and share, understanding or advice with people. We got to make sure we giving of ourselves, and we can't never look at when the Quran say, had Allah willed, he would have guided them, and then take it upon ourselves to look at people around us that's not guided and say, well, had Allah willed, he would have guided them. That still don't exclude you from the work of trying to be a savior. It still don't exclude you, but some people look for excuses not to do the work and think that they doing enough and just being good themselves and being good in their own life. But it go beyond self, because once you strive and you put in the work to get yourself together, that's just you. What about other people that need what you got? What about other people that need to hear the words that you read? So we gotta really understand that if we following the minister, we gotta strive and do the work that he did and that he is doing. Because if not, we hoarding, We being niggardly. You know, we not looking at the community and looking at our situation and looking at the fact that, say, the minister, you know what I'm saying, once he got himself, you know what I'm saying, back on track and got his faith, you know what I'm saying, back intact and was back striving and doing what he was supposed to do as an individual. But if he said, you know what I'm saying, I'm good, I'm straight, I'm praying, I believe in the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, what if he just kept that to himself and didn't take on the mission of being a savior and trying to spread the word all around? Where would we be today? So if we really follow him, then we gotta follow him, do what he did, say what he say. We gotta put in that work and not take on that certain attitude. It's an attitude that we can develop and that we could read this Quran the wrong way. And like I had just mentioned, where it say, had Allah willed to guide them, he would have guided them. That still don't mean that relieve you of your duty of striving to be a warner and putting that word out, because Allah tell us time and time again, your job is to only deliver the word, deliver a clear message. So it's up to us to drop a few words on somebody that we feel may be astray or need it, and then, you know, let that word work. Because I done seen too many times where you would say something to somebody today and they might not seem to get it, but you will see them 5 or 10 years down the line, no matter how long it is, and they'll say, man, it's something that you said, and I may not have responded right away, but what you said later on came up in my mind, and it sparked and influenced me to start the process of trying to change and better myself. So we can't never give up on our people, give up on people, period, whether our people or humanity. Because as we see, the minister is pushing us to go beyond ourselves and look at humanity. And that's one of the reasons why he wanted us to make sure we go out every Saturday and feed the poor, because he trying to put us in the mindset of being saviors and being those who care about nurturing the community into a higher upgrade, bring it up, raise it up. So if we saviors, we saviors. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Brother John?
Yes, sir. Peace, family. Peace to the gods. Assalamu alaikum and Ramadan Mubarak. Great word, Brother Antoine. That was great. Brother Ben, again, thank you, my brother, for this call. My mind was taken this morning, I believe Sister Bridget alluded to it in chapter 39 of Perfect Guidance, that section. Verse 23 says, Allah has revealed the best announcement, a book consistent, repeating its injunctions. And each time we continue to read of the prophets, the messengers being warners, coming to a people who don't want to believe, and then the people get destroyed. It's very interesting, Brother Ben, that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was called the illiterate prophet because he could not read. He never read the Old Testament. He never read the New Testament. Yet here's Allah revealing through him in a period of 23 years different stories that are found originally in the Old Testament, originally in the New Testament, showing you that Allah was revealing through him his word and bringing through him the best and being a protector of the truth of the Bible. We also read in this verse, we were reading, there was a section on a footnote that I had where it says, when God was talking to Solomon, it's chapter 38, verse 27. And it says, we created not the heaven and the earth and what is between them in vain. That is the opinion of those who disbelieve. And in the footnote, it says the believer is guided by the principle of accountability of human actions and of a significance underlying everything that exists in heaven or earth. The disbeliever, on the other hand, makes mischief as he believes that he will not be any the worse for it, and thus ignores the law of cause and effect which prevails in the universe. And that just reminds me, family, when I'm talking to our youth, when I'm talking to the brothers in the streets, when we're out, sometimes we hear the argument of selling drugs. Well, man, Brother John, you know what? If we don't do it, it's going to get done anyway. Or, the people are already bad. So, y'all coming over here getting on me ain't going to change the drugs that's out here, ain't going to change our condition. The law of cause and effect is not necessarily on the mind of the disbeliever. So they are called mischief makers. And I shared with some of the big homies, those who run the gangs in this area, brothers, you all may put a hit out on a brother or label somebody food. And we come to you and you're like, nah, Brother John, I didn't have nothing to do with that. That was little homie, whatever. But brother, if you're calling the shots, don't think that you can escape the law of cause and effect. Because the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us that, the scripture says, prepare slaughter even to the third and fourth generation. And the murder that you're assigning, that you're giving my little homies to do, brother, God won't put it on you. He'll put it on your children or your grandchildren. And you will live long enough to see the recompense of what you do being visited on your children or your grandchildren. That's not a good thing to be. That's not a good state to be in. So just understanding the law of cause and effect and teaching our young brothers today, many of them are just straight savage because we have been baptized in this world. We have to teach them and impart on them the law of cause and effect so they'll be more mindful of their actions. And last but not least, I see here in Surah 38, God is saying, surely I'm going to create a mortal from dust. So when I have made him complete and breathed into him of my spirit, fall down submitting to him. And the angels submitted, all of them, but not Iblis. He was proud and he was one of the disbelievers. And listen to what God said. He said, "O Iblis, what prevented thee from submitting to him whom I created with both my hands? Art thou proud or art thou of the exalted ones?" So here we have God saying that he created a mortal with both his hands. Those sound like human characteristics to me. Spirits don't have hands. It could be that the two hands that made this mortal was Master Fard Muhammad and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, taking a mortal and made him complete and breathed into him of his spirit. So there are brothers and sisters today who don't want to follow the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, Brother John. He just a man. Y'all following a man. He put his pants on just like I do. Yeah. But all through the scripture, it says, obey Allah and his messenger. For obedience to the messenger is obedience to Allah. For the messenger, Farrakhan in this day and time, is the bearer of Allah's message today. So yes, he was created by God with both his hands. And he is immortal, but he has been made complete and God has breathed into him of his spirit. And so it does not take anything from any of us to submit and obey Allah's messenger today, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Thank you, my brother. Love you. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Brother Remus.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Always a pleasure to be here. Thank you, brothers. Brother John. Thank you, Brother Anton, Sister Bridget, Brother Ben, of course. Sister Shireen also really sparked something. It's funny about her. Sister Bridget, Brother John anchored right into the zone that Allah was speaking to me strongly through this morning. Some notes I jotted down were my prayer, my sacrifice, my life, and my death is all for Allah. Sister Shireen was talking. Allah's the best knower. Gratitude, you get more of what you're grateful for. Never speak of those that die in the way of righteousness as being dead, for they live on, yet you perceive not. Um, so that brings in the spirit that is in all of us. If you have a man that doesn't have any spirit, he's dead because there's an energy that's not moving in him. He's alive, but he's not dead. So we talk about the mental resurrection. So a question to Shireen and everybody else, is your father his body? Exercise I learned was this idea of, if you lose your arm, is the spirit still moving in you? If you lose your eyesight, that thing that's causing you to breathe, is it still operating? If you lose all your hair, are you still who you are? And so that ability to see, close your eyes, see something, see a cat, make the cat jump around, make the cat sit on the couch, make the cat do something, and you can do all this in your mind. That is an energy that's moving us. That's a thing that is in our body. Where do you put your hand on that? Where's that part where that thing that's moving you? If you lose your fingers, if you lose, God forbid, your legs, are you still able to see stuff and make stuff happen and create stuff? And so the question becomes, when this body shuts down, what happens to that? Where's that thing that was able to see a cat, see a dog, could close your eyes and picture, what it made me like to travel to Egypt? Does that just go away? And just because this flesh is no longer here, and we talk about the light bulb burning out, but that energy is still there. And do you think that you will not be returned to Allah? The brother just raised the part, Allah has revealed the best announcement, a book consistent, repeating its injunctions. Constant reminders. You read the Quran, say, okay, I remember Allah said that a few chapters ago. Allah said that. Goes over Noah again. Allah said that, if you do good and believe in Allah, you shall not fear, and you shall not grieve, and you shall have no fear. It's these instructions. Reproduction, be fruitful and multiply. Okay. What are you teaching down? What is going out there, Brother John? People talk about the brothers on the street or whoever. What is being taught? It matters. The scientists saw no end to the wisdom of Master Farad Muhammad. There will be an end to this flesh. I think we have to get better at telling the truth, the truth to the youth and to everybody. This flesh will pass away. What we do determines when this thing goes. It is definitely a cause and effect. There's no abracadabra. And the idea of never giving up, never settle on the idea um, that I've not done enough. The idea that I've never done enough. You can't settle. This thing is about continuing motion. Allah's going to have somebody here doing this work. It's a pleasure. It's a privilege to be able to put in some work. And the question becomes, how much work can you put in? If you can do more, why wouldn't you do more? Allah's will is ever being done. The law of cause and effect in the universe, Brother John just spoke about. We have to impinge on a situation. If we don't impinge, you can clear that word, like make a difference in the hood, in the White House, we didn't make a difference. There's a message we just didn't deliver. And to impinge on a thing is to let it be known I'm here. There's something you're gonna have to contend with now. There's an idea that now, that's why 1914, this white man's rule was up, because it's been decided. It's time now. And so, in this wicked rulership and the lighter running the darker, that idea, now it's exposed that, okay, that experiment, that's done now. Learn from it. What we do matters. We will die. This flesh will pass, but it's beyond that is what this is all about. So, so do something. Period. A man has a spirit. That's the reality. There's a spirit there's an energy, man and women. There's an idea. And you can monitor when the spirit is high and low, what causes the spirit to be high, what causes, and and recognizing you're going to pass away. It's a part of this journey. So the sooner we can embrace that, the easier it can be to live and recognize, okay, cool, we're still here, but there's more we can do. But when someone passes, we got to realize that's going to happen. We're not celebrating it. We're not trying to egg it on, but we do realize, man. So what we do matters, and how we do it. So that came to mind. And I wanted to read the last piece here. And the last thing we read today was chapter 39. It ended with 31. So I had 31, but 26 says, so Allah made them taste disgrace in this world's life. And certainly the chastisement of the hereafter is greater. Did they? But no. And certainly we have set forth for men in the Quran similitudes of every sort that they may mind. You clear the word similitudes, examples. You get to see all these different people that have lived and what they went through. They were up, down, and down tomorrow, and they didn't do this, they didn't do that. It's just it's a guide. It's a guide on doing this thing called life. So you know, yeah, I like this last one. Allah has set forth a parable, a man belonging to partners differing with one another, and a man devoted wholly to one man. Are the two alike in condition? Praise be to Allah. Nay, most of them know not. So you got a man that belongs to two different partners, differing with one another. He's here, he's there. Then you got another man that's following one instruction. Think about the minister. I think about Most Elijah Muhammad. It's clear instruction. You know what you got to go do, and it's a beautiful big assignment. This thing called life, and they saw no end to Master Farham's win. We are part of that. So when you embrace all of that, it's like, okay, we know the building blocks. We have the root knowledge. And then we can go out here and establish that which Allah is not going to be trying to tear down. He's pleased with, even though this body will pass away. It's still his idea is going to keep moving. So I just want to share that. Appreciate y'all.
Brother Ben, if you're talking, we can't hear you.
Oh, dang. My bad. Brother Waddell, I'm sitting here calling our names. All right, Brother Mark. Oh, there you go.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Ramadan Mubarak. I just wanted to share something that stood out to me. It says, chapter 39, verse 7. It says, if you are ungrateful, then surely Allah is above need of you, and he likes not ungratefulness and if you are grateful, he likes it for you, and no bearer of a burden will bear another's burden. Then to your Lord is your return. Then will he inform you of what you did. Surely he is nowhere of what is in the breast. And when distress afflicts a man, he calls upon his Lord, turning to him. Then when he grants him a favor from him, he forgets that for which he called upon him before, and sets up rivals to Allah, that he may cause men to stray from his path. Enjoy thine ungratefulness for a little. Surely you are of the companions of the fire. Like, this verse stood out to me because, like, it was talking about how, like, many times, like, people all over the earth, like Black people, we fall into distress and we call on Allah sincerely. And we ask, if you get me out of this situation, I promise I will serve you, God. But it just shows you, like, after Allah delivers you from the affliction, we set up gods beside Allah. Like, if we are trying to be righteous people, we have to realize that we have to submit sincerely to Allah, because how many times will Allah is going to keep like tolerating us playing games with him like this? Like, this stood out to me because even in my own life, like, sometimes you have problems that come up and Allah, he delivers you from it, but then you're going to worship and other things. You forget about Allah. You're not thinking about him. You're not reading the Holy Quran. You're not praying. So I was just thinking about how we have to become more sincere in our obedience, because Allah, he's not playing with us. So we have to remember him and constantly strive to be righteous people so that his favor won't pass on to someone else and he rejects us. Yeah, that's all I wanted to share. Thank you.
Yes.
Assalamu alaikum. Ramadan Mubarak.
Ramadan Kareem. Brother Mark.
Assalamu alaikum.
Excellent.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. What sticks out this particular day and other days, Lot is mentioned several times. Several times his name is mentioned. And we all know that that is Sodom and Gomorrah. And we are dealing with that horrific abomination right now in our time. As a matter of fact, for Easter, Biden did some kind of celebration of trans whatever. I mean, it's just insane. But what really sticks out in my mind is when you read about Lot and Sodom and Gomorrah, you're just looking at an end product. Now, it's not like Puff the Magic Dragon. Men are gonna approach men with lust. And in about 2 or 3 surahs before this, the angel said this has never been done before. So that means that the flood did not wipe out all of the fallen angels. And there is a whole process missing of how they got there. The whole process is gone. Now, if we take the United States and put it back in the time of Sodom and Gomorrah, then you can look at, this is how they did it. The poisoning of the water, hormones in the food that disrupt the natural hormones of man and woman, the media pushing this, but none of those processes are given in the story of Lot. The only clue you are given is the old woman that was left behind. Therefore, if you want to demoralize and destroy a community, it cannot be done without first corrupting and destroying the natural love of the mother. And I have witnessed this. Allah has allowed me to witness this. The advice that older women give younger women. Don't give no love to your husband. Give it to the outside guy. That type of thing. So this is a manufacturing process, and a lot of steps have been left out. And that's what sticks out in my mind. And also with this eclipse coming on April the 8th, I strongly advise everybody, do not look up at this eclipse because it is some strange things going on. And that's what sticks out in my mind. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Brother Rodney.
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Oh, man. So many lost my place, but one of the things that stood out was in chapter 39, or Surah 39, ayah 22, section 3. And it was actually the title. It said perfect guidance was one of the things, and then I'll read it. It says, is he whose breast Allah has opened to Islam, so that he follow a light from his Lord. So woe to those whose hearts are hardened against the remembrance of Allah, such are in clear error. But like the title of that section kind of sparked something in me. The first two lectures that I heard from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the first one, the one that really got me, and it was a VHS tape, and I was in prison. Remember, danger on the horizon, fear of the black man's rise. Can't find that lecture to save my life today, but I know I remember that. And then the second one was guidance and instruction. No, the guide and guidance for these troubled times. And reminders are blessings and they are good for the soul. So everything that we read today, parts here and there, always reminded me from the day that I heard.
Are you covering your mic? It seems like a lot of movement.
Okay, I'm sorry. I always think about like that which brought me to Islam. And being in this world, it moves so fast, But when I was in my cocoon, or the hidden university is what we call it, prison sometimes, I remember in the first 2 or 3 months just traveling, going around prison, and I know this is like, I'm like, man, this is a crazy world, right? And nothing appealed to me except these two brothers. And the two brothers was dressed differently. And I just was still in the world, like using the N-word and everything. So they would walk past my, it was cubicles at the time. And so I seen them one day. I was looking for them. I was hoping they'd say something to me. So I just kicked in and I was like, what you ends doing, man? That was really my language at the time. This is 1995. And the brothers the way they took me in and sat with me. And I remember I flashed back, one of my favorite movies was Malcolm X. And I used to say some of the language, and I didn't even know what I was saying, brother. I was saying all praises due to Allah. I was saying that in the world because I love Malcolm X. I love the stuff I was hearing. So not knowing, I'm believing all these seeds were being dropped. I'm the first person in my family to even go to prison. And I was the eighth child of my mother's 9 children. So I'm just saying this, and when I heard the minister's voice, like, cause they took me and we had a message to the black man's course, and they showed me how to pray. And thing that really did it for me, because the Quran today was talking about the believers and disbelievers. These brothers that used to walk past me all the time never said nothing to me until I started studying with the brothers in the Nation of Islam. They start when I was very new to it. They would find me and I could be in line for child time or something, and they would be like, "Brother, why you studying with them brothers? Woo, woo, woo." And I'm like, "Brother, you never said nothing to me. Now y'all want to come bring me to the church?" I said, "I grew up in the church. I'm not knocking the church, but I said I'm fine where I'm at. I love where I'm at." And they would, beat me up with a little something, and then in my infancy, I would go and learn more, and I'd go find them and beat them up. So just knowing what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the passion that he had from a VHS tape in prison gave me a foundation that the road to a foundation that I have to stand on. And that brings me to what happens in the world. The world is full of so many distractions that I use Ramadan to do a reset. I go back into the mindset of when I was in the prisons, and I try to study, and I try to get all of these little things that I used to like the mannerisms or practices I used to have when I was in jail, when I was in prison, to to bring me back, and it has brought me back. And it's just amazing, brother. You know, I was just like, wow, man. I just try to go back to my, but I'm 55 years old. I was like, man, the teachings is so real. And I thank each and every one, because y'all gave me so much today. And this is the 23rd day. Y'all giving me so much today that I'm writing down and taking notes. And it looks like the notes like you take in prison. So I thank everybody that's on this call. I can't thank you enough, man. So thank you, everybody. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Sister Ebony?
Assalamu alaikum. Ramadan Mubarak. So what I wanted to say is not really from the Quran reading, but just in response to some of the things that I heard. I think it was Sister Shireen and another sister. But kind of like just in terms of, submitting to like circumstance and also being obedient. I think that sometimes when we're like in the midst of whether it's conflict, hardship, loss, it's difficult to see our way out. But when we are in alignment with the mind of Allah, it makes it a lot easier. And like we're supposed to we're supposed to pray 5 times a day, and we've spoken about it on the call where we're supposed to make salat 5 times a day, but moreover than that, we're supposed to remember Allah, and not necessarily 5 times a day or X amount of times a day, but we are supposed to remember Allah in all that we do as Muslims. You know what I mean? And I find that when we do that, like when we elevate our minds to that level, it makes things so much easier for us. It makes navigating life so much easier for us because that thought is always there. When we're listening to certain music, that thought is like there. When we're going through struggle, it's like, okay, yeah, this is hard, but like, what does Allah say about this? Even in making decisions, even in how we deal with people. And that's not to say that, we don't make mistakes or we don't fall short or we don't, do things that are contrary to how we're supposed to operate. But we like in my experience, you almost get like an instant like recoil, if you will, for lack of a better word. You get an instant like check, where it's like, okay, that wasn't right. Like you have to do that better next time, kind of thing, right? And just in terms of the other sister, I'm so sorry, I forgot her name, but she was saying something like obedience comes before understanding. And I remember like earlier this year, and this was in the process of me coming back into the nation because not coming back into the nation, but coming back into like to the study group and coming back into the fold, like I asked Allah, like where am I supposed to be, like really and truly, like where do you want me? And that day it was a Sunday, and I seen somebody post a lecture, like the Chicago lecture with Minister Ishmael, and he was speaking of the reward of faith. And that was a two-part lecture, and I recommend it highly. It's really, really good lectures. But in that, the reward of faith, there's a part where he's saying, like sometimes we want to understand things before we move out. Sometimes we want to like have the whole big picture before we move out or see something as worthwhile. And no, that's not how it is. Obedience comes before understanding. And sometimes we have to be obedient, and and then the understanding comes along with it. It's almost like when you're a mother or a parent, like if when you're a parent and you have children, right? Sometimes you tell them things. Sometimes we tell our children things that they might not understand. They might not even understand or see things on the level that we see them, but they have to hear and obey. Exactly. They have to listen because we see what they don't see. We know what they don't know. So having that understanding itself, that okay, I need to be obedient first, and then the understanding will come. That helps us navigate those difficult instances. And like just to reiterate, it's not that it's not difficult, it's not that it's not hard, but like what they say, like hindsight is 2020, right? Sometimes, yeah, sometimes as time goes on, you look back and you're like, wow, like Allah really and truly saved me from that. Like, or that was supposed to happen because of this and this and this. And if that didn't happen, this other thing wouldn't have happened, or you know what I mean, would have happened, right? So I just think it's important to, like, keep our mind up with Allah's mind, and just know that, Allah is the best planner. And there's one more thing I wanted to say, but I feel like it might be yeah, I think I'll leave it at that. But yeah, I just wanted to say that. So I wanted to say, oh yeah, the last thing that I wanted to say was too that I had an experience, not an experience, but there's something, like, for example, when you sometimes when you have an order, like when you have like an order or a rule, in Islam, there's especially when you're coming in, it could seem like there's a lot of rules and there's a lot of restrictions. And like, I remember when I was coming in, like initially, like years ago, there were certain things where I'm just like, why do we have to do that? Or why can't I do that? Like, that doesn't make sense, right? And when we don't have that thinking in line with Allah, we like detest it, like we go against it, like we fight against it, where it's like, but why, like, why can't I do it? Like, that doesn't make sense. But when you have that mind that is with Allah, it's like, okay, I might not fully understand 100% why I cannot do this, but certain things come to our mind when we're in a line, when we have the mind in a line with Allah, where it's like, oh, it could be this, it could be this, it could be that. We might not know for sure 100%, but those like little inklings can give us, I guess, comfort in knowing that it could possibly be this, it could possibly be that, and regardless of whatever it is, like, fall in line and be obedient, because we know that, this is for our own good. Um, and yeah, that's all. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Together we ride. Sister Dr. T.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Ramadan Mubarak. I just wanted to come on today and just say, let me see what scripture ayah in chapter 29. Let me just get it. In chapter 29, ayah 6, talked about where it says, he created you from a single being, then make it made of the same kind, and he sent down for you 8 of the cattle in pairs. He creates you in the womb of your mother's creation after creation, in triple darkness. That is Allah, your Lord. His is the kingdom. There is no God but he. How are you then turned away? And so what I got from this verse was a personal situation of my own. And then I heard other stories as well previously in the conversations about God's will and his knowing, and a lot of, I used to question a lot of things, but now I've stepped back and understanding that, it's some things is just not meant to be questioned. You just have to be patient and understand what it is that God is where he's trying to lead you to. And so that takes me back to my time of birth, when just a short little testimony. At my time of birth, my mother didn't know that she was pregnant with me. And I have a twin brother, but she thought it was just one kid, but it was actually my brother and I. And at the time of his delivery, which she was thinking it was only one child to be delivered. During the cesarean, when they was, getting all of that stuff closed back up, that's when I came along and she informed, this is her words, she informed the physician that there was something else that was happening, um, and he needed to go back in and see. And little behold, it was me that they found that was there. And um, she was in shock about the whole situation because she was only expecting one kid. And here's another little one, um, which I was very, very, very tiny. My brother pretty much took over the whole time of living inside the womb, obviously, because he was way bigger than me and everything like that. But to make it long story short, it's like me understanding at this point in my life how I got here in the teachings, how I got a part of um, everything that I'm doing right now. Because he, like I said before, we grew up in Baptist church, and he is still a part of it, and I'm not anymore. And so we always get into these fights about, you know, the teachings that I'm learning and him still being part of the Baptist church and so forth. And so I just heard what Sister Ebony said, and she said obedience come before understanding. So I said, well, maybe it's that I must be obedient to Allah's will to bring understanding to my brother and hopefully my family, because I'm the first who have converted into Islam. So um, I was just thinking maybe it's going to be, me, myself, having to model Allah's commands and letting his light shine through me, um, to in being obedient and helping them understand, this is our true religion. This is where we should be, um, because nothing else is working. And that's what I constantly tell him. You go into church, you believe in all these things about what they teaching us, have taught us in Baptist, but you still are holding on to a huge part of the things of the world, which I don't understand how you're going to do both, living on both sides. And so we constantly get in a conflict with that, because in Baptist, they telling you, say that you believe in Jesus Christ and you saved and all this stuff, which is bizarre to me, that you can just say that and have no actions. And that's what our people are believing and still being a part of the world. And when things come about, I think in one of the ayat 7, it talked about you praying and asking God to forgive you for all these things that you're doing. And then you turn around because of what the Baptist churches teaches us. You turn around and you go and you do the same thing or you do something else, um, and choose to be among folks or choose to disregard Allah's grace that he put upon your life to give you deliverance from the affliction that you have just suffered. And so that's just this here today has just been a huge help with understanding how I'm gonna have to put this thing into perspective when it comes to my family, because obviously uh, being a part of Islam and what they call Muslim and all this stuff and the craziness that they think of this religion right now because they Baptist. Um, I haven't shared a whole lot with family members and so forth, because I just know how they're going to rebuke everything that I'm um, learning right now, um, and this great, great religion that I know definitely is the one for the black man, and it is the true one for life and the hereafter. So I just want to thank everybody for coming on and giving great wisdom and knowledge of understanding, which is, I know, is what Allah is expecting us to do, um, as we hold up the truth in His name, and also for the messengers who is also holding us accountable as well. So I just thank everybody, and let's continue to take this thing forward and meet that last day of Ramadan. Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am. Have you ever been on Twitter Spaces?
Oh goodness, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna probably sound very embarrassed to say this. Um, I have not entertained the social media arena just because I've always been a uh, personal person, and I just never thought about the the good side of it because it was so much extreme bad stuff that I was, hearing and so forth. So I have to say that I would love to be a part of it. I would love to. Um,
Oh no, you just sound exactly like somebody that I've heard on Twitter Spaces. That's why I was asking.
oh, okay, okay. No, no, I have not, but I would like to be a part of it. To open up ears and eyes and do God's will. If anybody can give me some guidance.
Yes, ma'am. Sister Ashia, if I said, did I say that right?
Almost. Assalamu alaikum. You were very close. It's Aisha.
Aisha.
Yes, sir. I've just been inspired to share this because just observing what's happening is that we are mapping certain surahs from the Holy Quran to life experiences and how we're being able to be comforted and gain deeper understanding about what we're currently facing or what we're seeing in our communities or the world. Now, I remember the Gideon's Bible. I don't know if any of you remember that, but one of the things I really loved about it was how you could flip to the back and it would have like an index, if you like.
Yeah. We just said
Yeah,
read
right.
action aloud.
Right. So if you were feeling, I don't know, lonely, it would tell you to go to a particular verse. And if you were feeling suicidal, it would tell you to go to a particular verse. But it was a great way of being able to keep up reading or to just instantly get a dose of Allah's words. So I was wondering if maybe as a resource that comes forth from the power calls, that we can maybe develop something like that. Those who are well versed in the Holy Quran could most definitely be on the team. Just an idea.
Yes, ma'am. Great idea. Need just an executor. Y'all know, y'all reminded me of something I wanted to do. Now I know how we going. Now that'd be cool if we can do this together. It'll probably take a long time. But y'all know how they got the Bible, right? And the Bible got the stories, and they got the book of John, the book of Matthew, and they got all these different things, right? And then it has thus saith the Lord, and you got that in red. I said, man, that'd be cool to have like the exegesis of the scripture, the exegesis of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the minister, written like a Bible, man, like the book, right? And so we read it, and when we dealing with different issues, we're able to look at the different people that walk with Jesus and hear their perspective and what they seen, and we got the footnotes of the date and the time and the context and what he said. Oh man, that'd be so cool. I had that thought years ago. Then I said, man, I don't know how I can't listen to all them different lectures and put all that together. But that sure would be cool, man, to be able to go to brother such and so chapter 5 verse number 6 and see what was said during this time and at this time. I said, man, that show to be powerful. Let's go to Sister Diabra.
I didn't know I was coming up so soon. Okay, so man, I'm full. I'm so full today. I want to speak briefly in conjunction with everyone that has spoken about Iblis. And Iblis is written, from what I remember, 3 times in the Quran, maybe more. But every time I read that about Iblis, my mind goes to how dare you have the audacity to not do what Allah is asking you to do, and you think you are better than what He has created when He created you. And then I wonder to myself, why is Iblis put in the Quran this many times? What message is Allah giving to us? And then I had to say, well, maybe there's an Iblis in me that I need to take notice of. And I was thinking that, you know, how many times have I missed my prayers when it's obligatory to do this, or just whatever, so we even the little things would lead to the bigger things. And the other thing that I wanted to speak about was um, about to bear witness. My mornings, and I'll be quick. My mornings start with uh, the the Ramadan prayer line, which is called the Ummah Reflects. And I wanted to say that about that this morning was um, the sister. What was her name? Talisha. Help me, brother Ben. The 8-year-old sister.
Sister Talia.
Yes, she was on the Ramadan. Excuse me, I have to say what it is. She was on Ummah Reflects this morning, and she recited in Arabic a part of the Quran, than the Quran. It was just so beautiful. And then she elaborated and went and was telling us that I'm going to recite the English part. And it was just so beautiful. And also our brother, I guess it was uh I don't know which one it was, but you can go back and look at it. The brother Abdul um that led the prayer for us, showed us how to do the prayer. He
Brother
was
Abdul
on.
Halim.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He was also he has also was a guest speaker on the it was day 17. Yeah, Minister Dr. Alim Abdul Halim Muhammad. Yes. And so with everything that I've heard today, yes, Brother Remus, it was called the Youth Day. And everything that I've heard today, and I bear witness that with this power call, this is the first time ever in my life that I have kept up with my reading. Um, and I thank Allah God for you, Brother Ben. I always give you your props because I'm a firm believer. You give people their flowers while they're living, because when they're dead, they cannot smell them, see them, touch them. And so I thank Allah for your insight. And I remember, I want to say this real quick. One time I hardly come on, so the day that I did come on, it was about um, Mr. I think his name was Monroe, and it really sparked my mind when he said, "Plan out your life for the entire year." And I'm thought, how can you do that? Plan out your life for the entire year. And then not as soon as I thought that, and I said that in my takeaway, Lord and behold, you came right behind me after somebody else was speaking, and then you was talking about implementing something Wednesday, whatever you call it, And I was like, look at Allah. I was like, because I was like, he just co-signed what I was thinking about. So I'm getting ready to get off of here, but I want to say thank you for Allah giving you this inspiration and you following through with the power call because it is a phenomenal thing. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Praise be to Allah. That takes me to our close, because that reminds me of what we're going to talk about in the holdback meeting. So we got to get out of here because there's some things that got to be done in my morning times. But for those who are listening in on YouTube, if you want to come over to the Zoom, I'm about to send you the link now because we are about to close out on YouTube, but we're going to stay back a little bit on Zoom to talk about something. So I thank you all for listening. I thank everybody who has shared today as always. And with that being said, y'all have a blacktastic day for those who are going to leave. And remember, today is the first day of the rest of your life. Oh, today is the first day of the rest of your life, and we can make the rest of our life the best of our life. And the choice, guess what? The choice is ours. Assalamu alaikum. Zoom, don't go nowhere. Well, y'all can if you want to, but if you want to stay, you can stay.
Is Brother Ben here? Brother Ben. Now, Ben got a heck of a program. A lot of people listening to Brother Ben. And Ben tells them about the minister.